Hello, friend. In this episode, I'm going to discuss the idea of our perception in prayer and as a servant of God, we'll say. Through some personal influences, I see how the idea of being a warrior, whether it's a prayer warrior, a spiritual warrior, those ideas of being a warrior, being essential or being valuable, I see it being promoted. And I do understand that this is coming from a little bit of a different perspective that's encouraged culturally, maybe even religiously. As in Course in Miracles says, if you're not familiar with the Course in Miracles, it's a book of dictation that was taken through a lady suggesting itself to be Jesus Christ that taught the renewal of mind. And in the Course in Miracles it says, when your brother is in when your brother is in the dark, don't go into the dark to help him, because there would only be two people in the darkness. Remain in the light and wait for him to be ready. That's me paraphrasing. Now, this idea of war in meditation, when you watch somebody meditating, thank you, Spirit, for reminding me of this, because Spirit brought this to my mind earlier, and I hadn't considered it again when I started recording this, but this is actually what inspired it. When you see somebody in meditation who is divinely connected, do you see any expressions at all that they are showing that they are at war within? Or is it the opposite? It's the lack of war. It's peace. It's harmony. Integration. Love. Bliss. Where is the warrior? The warrior is gone, because the interpretation that there is any need for a warrior is gone. So we don't create the warrior because we've let go of the thought that a warrior is essential. Because we've let go of the source of misunderstanding, which is the ego. Instead of being a warrior, how about being a light bringer? Somebody bringing the renewal of mind. Bringing that levity of mind. The lightness. Bring the light. You don't have to fight the dark. You don't have to look back every second and be mindful of where Satan is, because you're taking your eye off the prize when you're doing that. You're taking your mind off divinity. You're giving your mind to Satan in that moment. In that moment, you went into the dark. God doesn't need you to go into the dark. That is a gross misunderstanding. It's a very carnal understanding. And when I say carnal, I mean when we're being warriors, when the idea that we need to be a warrior, a spiritual warrior, a prayer warrior, comes to our mind, did Spirit tell us that? Did Spirit say, go be a warrior? You don't have to go be anything. You already are. The truth of it is that what you truly are is so powerful that it itself can transform and transmute darkness to light. We don't need to manipulate anything. Just be. Be in alignment with that and watch things transform. No effort. Actually, Buddha's reminding me, no try. It's the same as getting into the receptive state. We don't have to make efforts to align. We just have to stop the ego's ideas that efforts need to be made, because it's the ego's ideas that are distracting us from already being in alignment. No try. You are light. You are God. You are divinity. You are love. You don't have to try to be any of those. Stop trying to be something else. Stop manifesting something else. Stop identifying with the idea that you have to create something else to be as powerful as you already are. There's not a single thing that you can do carnally that could ever come close to making you as powerful as you can be when you don't try at all. Meaning when you just align. When you just give your mind and consciousness to God in that moment. Just give your mind and consciousness to stillness at that moment. Still your being in that moment, rather than allow the carnal mind to distract you from your beingness. And your beingness is love. Your beingness is this creative power. Your beingness is this nurturance, this empowerment, this truth, this transformation. Being a warrior is almost like the way that I'm interpreting it. Spirit's giving to me, it's like the idea of being a warrior is presenting resistance. The idea of an enemy is an illusion. We surrender that idea of an enemy at all, and the illusion collapses on itself. No warrior necessary. To some, this might seem like it's nitpicking, but what we're really doing is we're developing and applying our own discernment. These are practical truths that we can use in our day-to-day life, moment-to-moment life, so that they bear fruit, so that we benefit. No preference or bias allowed. Why don't I care what others think? Because I don't care what I think. When I want truth, I have to be unbiased about it. I have to seek it out without preference. How many people do you know that are willing to give up their preferences for truth? And the only thing that resists truth is the ego. When you actually come to understand what truth is, you'll see that you couldn't have created it any better. God did a magnificent job with it. He put the power within us. He put His power within us. Whatever we want, we create. And if we create unmindfully, we suffer. And if we create divinely, we expand. Just like if we love, we heal. If we hate, we create imbalance. Another validation. It's a mirror, the perfection of creation. You don't love and get sick, and you don't hate and get better. Ever. Ever. That's an absolute truth, meaning you can't believe the opposite to be true and experience it as true. right, friends, we'll close the episode there. I felt it was a valuable topic to share so that everybody has the opportunity to consider and contemplate and examine this idea. God doesn't need you to be a warrior. God needs you to surrender that ego and be aligned with that God particle, divine spark that you are. God doesn't need anything, but that's what benefits you the most. God doesn't need your participation. Don't be so egoistic to think God relies on you. But if you want to have the godly experience rather than the egoistic experience of suffering, it's on you. It's on you, my friend. Okay? Stay blessed. We'll talk soon.